It was the show about this Fab Four that changed the way women view sex and themselves, all thanks to clothes, cocktails and Carrie.
Hello, lover.
Sarah Jessica Parker became the poster girl for smart, liberated women everywhere in a show that lasted 6 series and gave us 2 films. Not to mention 4 Golden Globes, 2 Emmys and 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards. But Sarah's been at the acting thing for ages. From 80s classics Footloose and Girls Just Want to Have Fun to Ed Wood and The Family Stone. Married to famous hubby Matthew Broderick and mother to 3 kids, I don't know how she does it, which is the nice segue into her new film of the same name.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how she does it.
Please welcome to the project desk the wonderful Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica, welcome. Your new film is all about a working mum trying to balance everything. And I have to say, as a working mum with 2 terriers, I was inspired. I really was.
He's actually mocking me because I came out of this movie with Charlie and it got to me so much that I went home, I cancelled any extracurricular activities I had that week. I realised then and there the balance between work and life and I thought, I've got to get home and see my son more. And your movie did that to me. It was awesome. It really struck a chord, I reckon, with working mums. It was great.
That's very nice to hear. Thank you.
Her tennis game is suffering because of it.
She'll figure out the correct balance.
But tell us a little bit about the movie and what you were trying to get out of it.
Well, the movie is based on the really well-received and terrifically successful Alison Pearson novel of the same title. And it's really a story, I think, a very accurate portrait of modern parenthood today. It's told through the eyes of my character, Kate Reddy, but I think it's the thing that I was struck when I read the script, the thing that really struck me was that it was not just familiar to me, but I thought would be familiar to millions and millions of women across the globe, and which is sort of what I've discovered as I've traveled talking about the movie, that this is a very relevant story for these very specific economic times we're living, where women are working, some because they want to, many because they have to, and the chaos that ensues in the choices that we make and the consequences of those decisions.
Yeah,
and
Greg Kinnear, Pierce Brosnan, tough choices.
If anything else, it's what a dilemma. But I just love the story, and it's told, hopefully with some humor and some, some honest look at the sort of absurdity of parenthood. But also, I think it can be touching and hopefully funny and honest. And
it was great. And imperfect. It's the imperfection that I found really comforting, because you're in your little house and it's chaos, but you think that everyone next door and everyone on your street is perfect. And
yes.
In the movie, you got nits. Well, your character got nits.
Yes. It can happen to the best of families.
Yes. How did it?
No, it can't. Actually, when I was shooting the movie, I received an email virtually sort of simultaneous to my character receiving an email that it in fact had entered my son's school, and that we must start the vigilant process of looking. But I am happy to report it never crossed the threshold of my home.
You sure? You are a good mum, and others are not good mums. One thing I have to say, though, this isn't just for women to relate to. Something I really related to was your character lying in bed making the list at night of all the things that you have to do.
It's not gender-specific.
And that is very familiar. What's on your list right now? What's in your head?
I wish I had something funny or clever to say, because as I sat in the green room and watched the show, now we can talk about you for a moment. It gives me an opportunity. I think the show's incredible.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen... No, I'm really serious. Listen.
Keep going, because we're recording this for an ad.
What I'm most impressed about is that you are able to cover such a diverse range of topics in such a short time, and it's so smart and interesting and clever, and you all are such an interesting quartet. And the top of my to-do list is to rob this in some way, to co-opt it and bring this idea home to America if I've thought of it, and produce it for Americans, and we'll just dumb it down.
Well, you could take us with you.
We'll come down.
Not possible.
You know
Not
what I also
possible.
loved in the movie? Like, in so many movies, the wife never wants to have sex with her husband. She's always complaining and she's always over it. In this movie, you're still in love with your husband, you still think he's attractive, and you're still up for it. I mean, you did fall asleep and you never got there, but, you know, it was very real.
No, it was.
Lovely.
It's nice. I think, I mean, I said one of the things that struck me about the script was that it would be familiar, but that, you know, this particular story. But I did like that this kind of woman doesn't typically have a place in cinema. I don't know about your country, but not in ours. And I also like that part of the thing that part of her completeness was that she really did love her husband, and it was not the way women of a particular age are.
So that is honest. So she did want to have sex with him, but she fell asleep, because that is my life.
And just because somebody falls asleep does not mean they don't want to, or that they don't still find you attractive.
Yeah, all right, we're getting into weird territory now. But well, the kids, though, you bribe the kids in the film. Is that a good? You're a parent. Is it a good way to deal with children, bribing them?
I've heard it can be effective.
It's hard for you to cry poor with your kids, isn't it?
Well, my son, we've told him we do have $5,000, and that we have to make it stretch as long. That's U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
Which today could be far less. No, I mean, bribing with children tends to be less about money in my house. It's more about something that's sweet or on a screen.
Yes.
It's screen or food.
Yeah. Do you fly a lot with the kids? Because I read that you spend time in Ireland, and I've flown once with my children, and I use sultanas and sedation. How do you get them places on aeroplanes?
Like every other mother, with apologies, with, you know, I see people and I can tell that they're terrified that we'll sit near or around them.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You know,
That's funny, though. They see you and they go, wow, and then they see your kid and go, oh.
You've left your kids home with Matthew. Did you, like, leave a million lists? How's it going?
I reminded him what time bath time was and where certain necessities could be found in the house, and the children are old enough to look after themselves.
Does he send you photos on your phone and you realise that they're wearing the same T-shirt you put them in 6 days ago? That's what happens to me.
No, I've not received any photos. I don't have any proof that they're in fact still living. I send them photos. I've sent them pictures. We went to the Healesville Sanctuary the other day, and I sent a lot of pictures. There's a baby there named Mabel, a koala they've had for about a week and a half that they've saved from French Island. So we sent a lot of pictures of Mabel and Amy, her caretaker. And so he's been on the receiving end, and I have been crickets.
I'm curious, your husband, Matthew Broderick, is...
Still is.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller was an idol of mine.
You were closest.
No, my wife's got to step up.
But Ferris Bueller was an idol of mine growing up. Were you like into Ferris, like before you met Matthew Broderick? Were you?
No, I will say I did pay to see that movie. I was, you know, a fairly young person.
It's a great movie.
Went with a friend of mine and loved the movie. And I realized, actually, by the time that we met and we started our courtship, that I realized I did pay to see every single one of his movies up to that point.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm cheap. I actually made an effort to go see and spent my hard-earned dollars. So I don't know if it was conscious on my part, but obviously I found him interesting.
Now, on another subject, you do work for charity. I've got to show you a clip. It's print today. This is not you. This is Prince William and Kate, who also do work for charity, and they were doing some stuff for UNICEF. But I believe this newsreader he's missed the point of this. Just watch this.
Dear.
Catherine knows that with fame and popularity comes not just the accolades such as Harper's Bazaar Best Dressed Woman of the Year, which she won yesterday, but also responsibility and the power to change lives. Jason Farrell, Sky News, Copenhagen.
Ooh, nice hats.
Missed the point, yeah.
We've got to take a break right now. Sarah Jessica is going to hang around with us for a little while, so we'll be right back after this. You're watching The Project. Sarah Jessica Parker is still here.
Just some breaking news that's very, very important. You'll love, Sarah. Kim Kardashian is heading home early, apparently. She was meant to stay here for a few more days. She's heading home to deal with her divorce and won't be going to the races on the weekend. I just had to share that with you all.
No, obviously there's issues there, and that's fair enough. But you were at the races today.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
and I'm sure you had a great time, didn't you?
I had an amazing time.
Yeah, and I want to show you what you did yesterday, though, because you're at that's you today, having... I mean,
Correct.
I'm sure that there's people everywhere.
That's my hat.
Look at that head. Oh, wow.
It's a hat by Serge Normand. It's a hat made of hair.
Is that a hat made of hair? Well, that interests
It's
me.
a hat.
Because you love hats, and
I
actually
do.
you wore a hat yesterday. And this is not this is not Photoshop. This is the hat you wore yesterday.
That's right.
Wow, that's huge.
I know. I was like, what are you going to say?
Is it a Philip Tracy?
That's a Philip Tracy hat, yeah.
I'm a very big fan of Philip Tracy. He's the man who made, for one thing, Lady Gaga's lobster hat.
Yes.
And yeah, he makes... And of course, Beatrice is
one of the
stunning piece.
One of the great milliners of our time.
Yeah.
And
Not
I think
often
he
is that said.
No.
Not often is that sentence said.
We have to go back. We have to go into a time machine to say that.
Yeah.
More every day. But he's great and clearly has a sense of humour, and that's a beautiful hat, and I got to wear it for a sum total of 22 minutes.
And you can wear things like that because you are so beloved. And you know you are. When you walked in here, you know, the crowd just went crazy. My mum was on the phone all afternoon with things she wanted me to say to you and ask you. And...
we should call her later.
Oh, no, we shouldn't.
She will hold you to that. Yeah. Everyone loves you, but not everyone knows your correct name. I mean, there's a lot of people obviously obsessed with Sex and the City, and we had some footage which I can't show you, so it's got awkward right now.
Okay.
No, I have got the footage now, so let's have a look what happened on Channel 10 last night.
All right.
Good luck with the film, and have a fabulous day at Oaks Day tomorrow.
Oh, thanks, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Carrie Bradshaw, thank you.
Does that happen very often?
Not usually with the broadcast journalists. It was a red carpet event. I mean, you know, it wasn't covering the G2 or G20.
To you like that? Thinking you're Carrie and ask you for dating advice and fashion advice?
I mean, you know, there are worse things that could happen to a person.
Well, this is it. She's a beautiful character. There are worse characters to be known as.
Exactly. I am sincerely. It's no great burden, and I did take a moment to correct her. I didn't choose to cover.
You had a laugh with that, and we cut that out, to be honest. But yes, you're very good.
Sex and the City 3.
Red, though. She was so red.
Sex and the City 3. I'm hoping that you and Big get together and have a baby, and then you juggle it all.
Oh,
and it'll be, don't know how
that
she
sounds
does
familiar.
I don't know how she does it. It is in cinemas now. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Please thank Sarah Jessica Parker.